Remember the dismissive glances, the reports filed away without action, and the calls that were never returned. The very precinct that treated your case like an inconvenience has now had its funding stripped amid a sweeping corruption investigation. Community members gathered outside, some holding signs sharing their own stories of neglect, while others simply watched in silent vindication as officers cleared their desks. Internal documents revealed a deliberate pattern of ignoring certain cases just like yours, as resources were diverted elsewhere. Though the scandal broke overnight, the anger had been simmering for years. Your experience was never isolated. It was part of a broken system that finally crumbled under the weight of its own misconduct. Justice often arrives in unexpected forms, and today it came through budget cuts and overwhelming public outrage. The pattern was there all along, one you saw clearly, while others remained blind. Every report filed by the awakened ones was systematically buried. Every piece of evidence brought forward by those with heightened awareness was deliberately misplaced. Your concerns were labeled unfounded, your testimonies deemed unreliable. Their system was engineered with surgical precision to silence the very voices they should have listened to the most. Now, the documents speak for themselves. Internal memos exposed to daylight reveal a targeted campaign against those deemed problematic, with coded language used to flag your reports and directives to minimize contact with individuals showing signs of heightened perception. Entire protocols were created specifically to dismiss you, the ones whose vision penetrated their veil of authority. Desk sergeants were trained to recognize you on sight and route your cases to special handling, a euphemism for no handling at all. It meant a performance of concern, followed by deliberate inaction. Your reports were documented with hidden notations, phrases left incomplete, letting implication do the dirty work. Statistical evidence now laid bare proves the pattern beyond question. Reports from certain neighborhoods were ignored, those containing specific keywords buried, and reports from people with your particular qualities systematically dismissed. The algorithm of suppression they deployed against you now condemns them in the court of public opinion. What began as a trickle of leaked documents has transformed into a flood of revelations. Former officers, no longer able to bear the weight of complicity, step forward with testimony confirming every suspicion you held. Internal affairs investigations uncover financial trails leading to compromised interests, evidence tampering, and witness intimidation. The corruption runs far deeper than you imagined. This scandal transcends routine police misconduct. It is systematic suppression of specific knowledge. The station did more than ignore reports. They actively discredited those who brought forth certain types of information. The question echoing through City Hall and social media alike is simple. Why? What were they hiding, and who were they protecting? Journalists who once dismissed you now camp outside your door, hungry for the story they once rejected. The very news anchors who contributed to your marginalization now speak your truth on primetime broadcasts. The public's appetite for justice grows insatiable with each new revelation. The hashtag # defund the police station trends nationwide. Your vindication unfolds in real time across millions of screens. The mayor, once a steadfast defender of the department, now stands ashen-faced before microphones, voice trembling as they announce, effective immediately, all funding will be redirected pending a complete investigation. The police chief resigns in disgrace. 3 deputy chiefs are placed on administrative leave, and internal documents are secured under federal protection. The once impenetrable structure collapses under the weight of its own corruption. The signs were always there, flashing like cosmic beacons for those with eyes to see. Recall the officer who couldn't maintain eye contact when taking your report, the subtle shifts in body language when you mentioned specific details, and the way the atmosphere changed when you described what you witnessed. These were not imagined. Your perception detected their deception long before tangible evidence surfaced. You noticed how certain names triggered visible reactions among the staff, how mentioning specific locations sparked exchanged glances between officers. Your file was handled differently, set aside rather than processed normally. These microscopic tells registered in your heightened awareness, while others remained oblivious. The parking lot of squad cars would suddenly empty when you arrived at the station with new information. Convenient system outages occurred precisely when you followed up. The rotating cast of officers assigned to your case ensured no single person could piece together the full picture. Your mind cataloged these anomalies, while others accepted the theatrical performance of law enforcement at face value. Even the building itself bore witness. Security cameras strategically angled away from certain areas, doors mysteriously locked where access should have been granted, and sections of the station perpetually under renovation. The physical space was designed to obscure and discourage. You saw the architecture of obstruction, while the public walked past unaware. Now, the response erupts with volcanic force. Those who once dismissed your warnings as the ramblings of the overzealous now stand in outrage. Social media overflows with righteous indignation, and the truth you fought to reveal shakes the very foundations of the system. They post in disbelief, questioning how this could have happened, conveniently forgetting their own complicity, born from years of indifference. Protests erupt like storm fronts converging on City Hall, with signs bearing slogans you've been repeating for years, and chants lifted directly from the very reports you once submitted and were ignored. The words that once marked you as an outsider have become rallying cries for the masses. The cosmic irony isn't lost on you. Your once isolated voice is now amplified through thousands of voices united in demand. Community meetings overflow beyond capacity, and those who once crossed the street to avoid your intensity now clamor for solutions, accountability, and the justice you fought so hard to attain. Religious leaders who once counseled patience and trust in authority now call for systemic reform, while political figures who ignored your letters have made your issues central to their campaigns. The wheels of society are turning in your vindicated direction. Even law enforcement from neighboring jurisdictions try to distance themselves from the scandal, insisting, "This doesn't represent who we are." Despite maintaining identical systems, their performative outrage fools the public, but not you. You see through the damage control and strategic repositioning. Still, the relentless public pressure forces concrete changes that would have been impossible without this catalytic scandal. You already knew the game was rigged from the start. The financial unraveling happens with stunning speed. Emergency city council sessions reallocate millions originally meant for the station. Budget lines are shifted to independent oversight committees. Pension funds freeze pending investigations. Officer salaries divert to victim compensation funds. The economic consequences ripple out from the epicenter of corruption, hitting all who enabled the system. Those who rose through the ranks by participating in suppression now face career extinction. Promotions built on burying the truth transform into termination notices. The financial security they bought with their complicity vanishes overnight. Mortgages, car payments, children's college funds, all suddenly precarious. The material cost of their moral compromise comes due with compounded interest. Department property undergoes urgent review. Assets freeze, equipment inventories get audited, and evidence lockers are sealed under new authority. The material apparatus that once supported corruption is systematically dismantled. Even the building itself, once a monument to authority, now stands partially emptied, its future uncertain. Budget allocations for the coming fiscal year reveal a gaping zero where millions once flowed. Meanwhile, resources surge toward new initiatives, community oversight programs, independent review boards, transparency technologies. The very reforms you advocated for now receive the funding once hoarded by those who opposed them. Your vision for accountability, once dismissed as impossible idealism, now forms the foundation of policy documents and budget justifications. Not everyone who wore the uniform participated equally in the corruption. Some knew better. Some recognized the truth in your reports. You saw it in their eyes, the flicker of recognition, the hesitation before they followed orders to dismiss you. These officers now face their own reckoning, their silence indicting them despite internal objections. The junior officer who secretly photocopied your report before it vanished, the desk sergeant who whispered, "Try the county when you hit departmental roadblocks," the detective who accidentally left case notes where you might find them. These small acts of resistance, though insufficient against the machinery of suppression, reveal fractures within the monolith. Their testimonies stand as quiet proof of the truth you carried all along. Now, voices emerge from within the system. One officer admits to investigators that certain reports had to be coded differently. Another confesses that there was an unwritten policy targeting specific types of complaints. Those who asked too many questions found themselves assigned to midnight shifts in the worst districts. A former lieutenant reveals how a culture of silence was maintained through sophisticated intimidation, now exposed by those who once upheld it. Some attempt to cast themselves as heroes, exaggerating their resistance after the fact, while others break down under questioning, overwhelmed by the weight of their complicity. A few still cling to the code of silence, even as mounting evidence closes in around them. You recognize this spectrum of culpability, understanding how corrupt systems influence individuals in varying degrees, yet you remain wary of those seeking unearned redemption. This moment of vindication marks the launch point for reclaiming your power. The credibility suddenly granted by circumstance provides a platform that was denied to you for far too long. Use it strategically. Your previously ignored reports now carry the weight of prophecy. Documented warnings that preceded the system's collapse. Present them with the authority they always deserved. The new agencies managing the transition need your knowledge. Approach them not as a supplicant, but as an essential resource. You possess the historical understanding they desperately require. Your meticulously maintained documentation, despite institutional resistance, now serves as a roadmap through the corruption, presented comprehensively, chronologically, and irrefutably. When addressing those in charge, maintain absolute precision and avoid emotional language that might categorize you as merely aggrieved. Speak with the measured authority of one whose perceptions have been validated by unfolding events. Reference specific dates, case numbers, and individuals involved. Your attention to detail will demonstrate the reliability they once questioned. During this transitional period, document everything: names, times, responses. As the system reconfigures itself, often disguising old habits in new forms, maintain your vigilance even as others celebrate premature victories. The validation you now experience must not dull the heightened awareness that originally revealed the truth. You've been proven right, not made obsolete. Stand confidently in your power. The vindication you witness today confirms what your heightened awareness perceived long before tangible evidence appeared. The defunded station is merely one physical manifestation of cosmic justice, aligning perfectly with universal truth. Your sustained perception, maintained against relentless institutional gaslighting, contributed to the mounting pressure necessary for this revelation. What was once dismissed as delusion or paranoia now stands confirmed as prophecy. The validation you experience goes beyond personal satisfaction. It confirms the reliability of your heightened awareness as a guide through ongoing awakening. The corrupt system exposed today is but one symptom of deeper dysfunction that still requires your continued vigilance. Accept this vindication not as a conclusion, but as cosmic confirmation of your essential role in the ongoing transformation of human consciousness and societal structures. Your journey is part of a much larger unfolding, one that will continue to challenge, refine, and elevate until true balance is restored. If this message resonated with your own knowing, if you've seen the signs long before the world caught up, then let's continue exposing the truth together. Make sure to like this video so it reaches those still searching for answers. Share it with those who may need the validation they've long been denied. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what comes next, because this journey of revelation has only just begun. And if you feel called to stand even closer with this mission, consider joining the channel membership or offering a super thanks. Every contribution helps amplify this voice and keeps the truth flowing in a world still trying to silence it. Your support fuels not just this channel, but the awakening itself.